guys, thanks again for joining me once more. I'd love to show you today a couple of haggis related products. We've got steak and haggis Wellington. Look how amazing they look, so easy to make. We've also got the chicken Balmorals, which is chicken breast stuffed with peppercorn sauce and haggis. I hope you enjoy the video, and please give these a go at home yourself. Okay guys, so the first of these products I'm going to talk you through is beef and haggis Wellington. So really simple ingredients that you need. This is the sort of batches that we do here. In fact, this is probably about half a batch. All we've got is sort of offcuts of rump steak, sirloin steak, ribeyes, anything that's going to be nice and tender, you can cook quickly. And I've mixed that with just some crumbled haggis. So we've shredded the steak up in small bits so that it's going to cook really quickly, and crumbled in the haggis and give it a good mix. And that's got just a tiny bit of this, which is a lemon and green pepper oil, just to coat it, give it a little bit of seasoning on there. It also needs some more of this just to glaze the outside of the Wellington. I have a roll of puff pastry, we just buy it in. It's so much easier. We do have a bakery unit, but they're so busy that it's just more convenient for us to buy this in. This is a peppercorn sauce. It's full of gelatin, so it'll stay solid until it's warmed through. That's a nice way of being able to put the peppercorn sauce inside the Wellington without making the pastry go soggy. So it's not liquid when it's chilled. If you're doing this at home, a good alternative could be cream cheese, plenty of cracked black pepper and some whole peppercorns. That would be a nice way of doing it, and also it would stay solid when it was chilled, so you wouldn't get that soggy bottom. Anyway, first things first, I'll set all of this to one side. And the last thing I forgot to mention was a 6-inch square. That's just a template for cutting out the shapes of our Wellingtons. So I'm going to unfill a bit of this pastry. I always trim this first end piece off, just in case it's been exposed to the air, and it won't keep as well. So always take that little bit off there. And because this is a 6-inch square and this is an 18-inch roll of pastry, you should be able to get 3 Wellingtons out of one strip. So I'll cut enough for 6 here, like so. Set those to one side. And I'll just get rid of this pastry for now. You just have to excuse the shadow here, as the camera is on a bit of a tripod and the lighting isn't great in here. I will look to improve that in future videos. However, at this point I've just laid the 2 strips of pastry on top of one another. And like I said, we're going to get 3 out of each strip. So if we just do that, that should be our 6 nice even squares. And then we'll just peel the backing off them. And you'll see how easy, simple a product this is, but it's also incredibly tasty. This is a great alternative if someone who maybe hasn't tried haggis before but isn't quite feeling brave enough to try the real thing. This might be a great option for them, just to give it a go. So now at this point, each bit of pastry, I'm going to put 2 little slices of this peppercorn sauce. Like I say, you could use your cream cheese and make your own. Butchers in the UK, I'm sure you'll know where you can get this from. And then Give myself a little bit of space here. We're just going to take a decent handful. In fact, I'll weigh this. I've got a scale right here. That is just under 200 grams of the mix there. Just under 190 grams or something like that. Of course, I make a lot of these, so I don't weigh each and every portion out. But you want these full enough so that they're going to look really hearty and appetizing, but you don't want so much that you can't seal the pastry. So you just need to find that middle ground. See, we've got a lovely mix of, I would say probably 50-50 haggis to steak. And then we just lay those on top of that pepper sauce. I'm just going to go and wash my hands. I'll be right back. Okay, so at this point, we're ready to assemble the Wellingtons. What I like to do is just pinch out opposite corners and bring them to a point. And then with the remaining two corners, pinch those out and bring those up into sort of a pyramid shape and give it a little bit of a twist there. So at this point, all we need to do is gently bring all of the sides together, just like so. And look how easy that is. And that's pretty much good enough to sell like that. But one last thing I like to do is just crimp it, and it's just with 2 fingers on each hand, one pushes and one pulls, and just get 4 or 5 nice crimps down each of these ridge lines, just like so. There we have it. I'll show you one more time and I'll probably time lapse the others. So pinching the corners out, bringing them up, pinching them out and bringing them up, and then just give it a bit of a twist, and then each of these just needs sealed, just like so. And you can see how nice and full they look, but they're not so full that we couldn't seal everything, so that's really important. And then finally, with the crimping, 4 or 5 down each of these ridges. Very easy. Your left hand pushes and your right hand pulls, and you just need very light pressure. And there we have it. So I'll probably time lapse the rest of these, and I'll check back in when that's done. So there we have those 6 done, and then the final job that remains is to give them a glaze in this lemon and green pepper oil. You can imagine that all the flavours working well together there: beef, haggis, peppercorn sauce, lemon pepper. You know, that's just a classic flavour combination. And this is just going to act as the fat that you would need on the outside of the pastry to crisp it up, but also acts as a bit of a decoration. And all I like to do is paint the triangular sides and try and miss the crimps, and it's quite effective. Of course, it's completely unnecessary. It's just for the aesthetics of it. You see, I just took that brush right into the ridge line and give that a glaze, and there we have it. How easy is that? 6 of these knocked up in less than 5 minutes, I would say. For cooking these, I recommend preheating your oven to 180 Celsius if you've got a fan assist, putting a baking sheet in the oven as it's heating up, and then when you put the Wellington on the baking sheet, it's going to help cook the underside, and that should take about 30 minutes. Design that so it's nice and convenient for everyone and dead easy, really tasty. Yeah, so that is the steak and haggis Wellington. Next we're going to show you the chicken Balmoral. Okay guys, so that first one was easy. This one is even easier. I'll tell you what, we're gonna do a chicken Balmoral, which is a chicken breast stuffed with peppercorn sauce and haggis again. So easy. I'll quickly talk you through what I've got here. I've just got some chicken breasts. All I've done is make an incision and butterflied them open so they've got a nice pocket in. Again, this is the same product that we used in the Wellingtons there. Peppercorn sauce. Again, you could use cream cheese, make your own if you're doing it at home. UK butchers, you'll know where to get it again. I have some streaky bacon, high quality, dry cured, that we're going to wrap the chicken breast in. And this is just a thin, I don't know if you can see that, I've cooked that in a 33mm tin, a little bit of haggis there. Just the end that I couldn't fill out into actual haggis casings, I cook them in tins, and it's ideal for this. So I'm going to cut some slices from this, stuff these with pepper sauce, wrap them in bacon, and finally this is another glaze that we're going to use. This one's just salt and pepper. You can easily make this at home. High quality rapeseed oil, some good quality Maldon salt maybe, and this is lampong pepper. It's the best you can get. If you look around, you can get that. Just blend them all together. Makes a lovely glaze, and it pre-seasons everything. You don't need too much, obviously, because that has got salt in, as well as the bacon, as well as the haggis. So you just need a thin glaze. So yeah, we'll do this now. Okay, so I've managed to hook up the camera there. Hopefully you can see quite well what's going on, but it's dead easy, as I said. I'll do three of these in real time. I'll probably time lapse the rest, but you'll see how quick they are. So into that pocket, we're just going to tuck that peppercorn sauce and sort of fold the chicken back over it so it doesn't leak out when it gets cooked, just like so. Lovely. And then out of this haggis, we're just going to cut a nice strip, and that can sit on top of the peppercorn sauce there. So 3 of those. Just like that. I'll move these chicken breasts out of the way. Hopefully you can see what's going on a little bit better now. All we're going to do is use 3 or 4 rashers, depending on the thickness of them. And just overlap them ever so slightly, and as you lay them down, sort of spread them out a bit, just like that. I can do this 3 at a time on this block, which is always nice to have a little bit of extra space. And just try and get these nice and even, so you can alternate the thick side with the thin side. And again, you can see how quick this is going to be. Once you've done all your prep work, you're just assembling. Very easy. And then you can just offer up your chicken fillet. And I like to leave maybe 1/3 here, 2/3 on this side that we're going to roll over. And I'll just take my knife, scoop up those ends of the bacon, and then nice even pressure. You can just roll that over, keep it nice and tight, and then because we've positioned that chicken fillet there, you can see the seam is on the underside, so when that cooks it's not going to unravel. And then finally, just a little glaze. Like I say, it's just a thin glaze with this because you don't want too much of the salt on here. I think there's anything worse than a salty product. Be the first thing people are going to complain about is high levels of salt. It's just a thin glaze. And then finally, have some of these grease-proof discs. You can just lay the chicken breasts on, and that'll just stop them from sticking when they're cooked on a baking sheet. And a nice sprig of thyme. Just to finish off. And just a little dusting of some mixed herbs, like so. How easy is that? Just a few minutes to make these, and they are absolutely fantastic. Again, a lovely way of someone trying haggis that maybe hasn't tried it before. I think I'll quickly time lapse the rest of these so you can see just how quick we can make this product. And there we have it. 8 of those. Probably took us 6-7 minutes. Very easy once you've done your prep, and these are fantastic. Again, for cooking, just half an hour at 180 degrees, maybe 35 minutes because they're quite large, but a lovely, lovely product. I hope you do give those a try. So there we have it, guys. How easy were those 2 haggis products to make? We've got the steak and haggis. Wellington, always popular, look amazing. We've got the chicken Balmorals, chicken breast stuffed with peppercorn sauce, and haggis wrapped in streaky bacon. Both very easy to make, both great products for people who maybe are a little bit nervous about trying haggis. I hope you give them a go, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.